A quick little disclaimer for this video, guys, is that I know it is Monday and the next round of Premier League matches have happened, but this video was filmed last Thursday and I edited it and everything, but we had no Wi-Fi, so I couldn't get it up. But these are still my exact predictions, they haven't changed since I filmed the video. Right, hello guys, it's Lewis here and welcome to a new series on my channel entitled Speaking Sport. This is sort of like a sports chat show. I don't know if I'm going to actually have anyone on it or I'm just going to be sitting here talking myself. I appreciate that some of my viewers might not actually be interested in this sort of thing, so feel free to click off the video, but if you are interested, then feel free to carry on watching because I know some of my viewers are interested in sport. It's basically going to be a series where I sit and talk about my opinions on real life events in the sporting world. For example, today I'm starting off by giving my Premier League predictions, but one day I might give my thoughts on another football match or an event in the football world, and it's not just based around football, it's any sport such as cricket, boxing, rugby, anything like that that I feel like I want to make a video about really. We're going to get underway with the traditional My Premier League predictions. I know this might be a bit unfair considering it's 2 games in, but not all the teams and their positions has been affected by the 2 games. For example, you'll see later on that some teams are a lot higher up than they are now in the league. Chelsea. So let's get underway with the video and I'm going to start off at the bottom. The team I think will finish in 20th place in the Premier League this season is Sunderland. Now, we've seen them get out of things a lot, like last year when they sacked Gus Poyet and employed Dick Advocat. But to be fair, if you do keep doing that, it will eventually fall. And we've seen that at Leicester and Norwich so far. I mean, in the 3-1 loss to Norwich, Nathan Redmond's goal, the 3rd goal, he literally just walked through the team. They do need to tighten up. I don't know if that means a new manager because it is only 2 games in, but new signings, they looked good on paper, but the defensive partnership of Quartes and Kabul just fell apart in the first 2 games. They conceded 7 goals in the first 2 games. Jermaine Lens still has to come too, but they do have Jermaine Defoe and he is a goal scorer, so if they're going to stay up, it is on him. The 2 teams that I have making up the relegation places of Sunderland this season respectively are 19th Watford and 18th Bournemouth. Now unfortunately for these 2 teams, I don't really think it's that their lack of quality is going to send them down, but the more increased quality of the other teams in the league. Both these teams did of course come up. Bournemouth won the Championship, they've come a long way under Eddie Howe. I remember seeing them play Gillingham in League 1 the season they both got relegated, and Gillingham did actually beat them 2-1. But I look at Watford, they've shown some quality in the 2 draws they've had so far. I mean, Deeney is a good player, but can he cut it in the Premier League? I mean, he's a goal scorer and he's their captain, of course. I read something the other day, I don't know if it's 26 nationalities or like 20-something languages in the squad. I mean, that is going to be hard to communicate because not every player is going to speak every language. They've got a new manager, they haven't got any like relatively proven Premier League players. I mean, they've got Gomez, they've got Capoue, Ben Watson maybe, but no standout players. They've looked promising so far. It isn't exactly as if they've faltered, but they will have a lot to do if I think they're going to stay in the league. For Bournemouth, now these are a team I like. They've been unfortunate at losing both games 1-0 so far. They haven't actually scored a goal. But there is of course no doubt that they have come very far under Eddie Howe. They have some exciting young players like the likes of Callum Wilson, could go on to play for England one day. I remember seeing him at Coventry just not even 2 seasons ago, and he scored a penalty against Jules when we beat them 4-2, but you know, they can be an exciting team to watch, but they're going to have to start scoring goals. They're going to have to get used to the Premier League. Is Eddie Howe going to keep faith with the players that got him promoted, or is he going to invest? I'm not so much invest because they're not the richest team, but more bring in some other players that are proven in the Premier League. We'll see. They could stay up, but I've got them down to finish 18th. Just escaping relegation from the Premier League this season, I have down West Brom, Aston Villa and Norwich City in that order. So West Brom 17th, Aston Villa 16th and Norwich 15th. Pretty much the only reason that I have put West Brom 17th is because they have goals in them and they have a manager that knows what he's doing. Tony Pulis, ex-Jules manager, has never been relegated as a manager, and that record could go on because they do have some quality. I mean, they've got Darren Fletcher, they've got Rondon now. He has to prove himself. I mean, he obviously did at Zenit, but the Premier League is a whole different ballgame. I think it depends on if they can keep Berahino, because at the time this video is being filmed, they've just rejected a bid from Tottenham. So he's a goal scorer. Rondon will have to start scoring. It will be close because they're not the most exciting team to watch in the league, but I think they'll stay up. Aston Villa, for me, could easily finish higher up in the league, but losing Delph and Benteke could be a massive thing. I mean, they've made some new signings. They've signed Traore from Barcelona. They've signed Gested, who I really rate and could be a massive player for them if he's used correctly. Bought Mika Richards is a new captain, being used in centre-back this time. They could finish higher up. They have an inexperienced, relatively manager at this sort of level. But here's a good manager. Norwich City, for me, are the only team that are coming up from the Championship. Although they finished lowest out of the 3 teams coming up, that will survive for me. They have a very young manager. He's exciting. He's obviously got them back up. They might need a goal scorer. I mean, you've got Cameron Jerome, you've got Redmond who can chip in, but Gary Hooper, who's pretty much ruined his career since he left Celtic, and Van Wolfswinkel has not been banging them in for Norwich, has he? But they do have some likes that will excite me. Redmond excites me, Bradley Johnson excites me, the management excites me. And we saw what they could do against, I know it's not the strongest of teams, but we saw what they could do against Sunderland. I wonder what else they can do to other teams. The two teams next up for me are 14th Newcastle, 13th Leicester City. Newcastle for me this season won't be in the relegation scrap they were in last season. They're not the mess they were under John Carver. They have bought some good players like Wijnaldum, but they still have many poor players like Colaccini. I don't really like that much. The defence is a bit Ex-England manager Steve McLaren, his experience, he knows what he's doing. For me, he'll make them better, but I don't think they have the potential to do anything higher, but I think they will survive comfortably. Can I just say, how weird is it that he sits in up in the stands? It's just weird for me. Anyway, now Leicester City. When I originally planned to make this video, like when I'd written the predictions, I had Leicester rock bottom. But that was before the season started. Leicester have been absolutely outstanding in these two games. I mean, Vardy and Okazaki, I think I pronounced that right, they look incredible up front together. I mean, you've got Mahrez, who's just been scoring left, right and centre so far since the season started. They've made some good investments in Huth. Ranieri, I saw him at Greece and they lost, I think it was the Faroe Islands or something. And I thought, why have they signed him? They're going down. But he looks such a chill manager and he looks like he knows what he's doing. And I think Leicester could do things this season. I mean, I've got them down as 13th. Could finish higher, but I don't think they'll be in a relegation scrap. I think they're going to be an established Premier League club for the next few years at least. Making up the bottom half of the Premier League, I have West Ham, Crystal Palace. West Ham for me, under Stephen Bilic, definitely won't go down. I mean, he's going to be a hit or miss manager, but he's a young manager, he's inexperienced and he's hungry. I mean, they don't really look to be the most exciting team, and a lot of the focus so far has been on 16-year-old Reece Oxford, who I think is like 8 days older than me, which is crazy. I think they did the right thing in sacking Sam Allardyce. They're not the most entertaining team, whatever, but they do the job and they'll do well for me this season. For Crystal Palace, I am so happy that Alan Pardew left Newcastle because he was so much better of a manager than he was given credit for there, because Newcastle fans can be very opinionated. The signing of Kabay is obviously massive because he's a quality player. One thing I don't know why they're so interested in selling Dwight Gale. They accepted an £8 million, I believe, offer for him from Bristol City, who are currently bottom of the Championship. For me, he should be playing every week. He's a goal scorer. I'd take him at Liverpool, to be honest. To finish 10th in the Premier League, I have Southampton. Now, I think it's fair to say we were all impressed that they could still impress last season under Ronald Koeman after losing their manager, after losing their two best players in Lallana and Lambert, and they still managed to finish 7th. This season, they've lost two more of their best players, in Schneiderlin and Klein, to Liverpool and Manchester United. I don't know, I think they'll do well. Not as well as they did, because they've lost a lot of players, and they've brought players in like Suarez and Romeu, which aren't as quality replacements. There's a couple of questions like, can Pella stay in form because he lost it at some point last season? What kind of Jay Rodriguez are we going to see after he's back from his injury? I think they'll be solid. I mean, they're not going to do anything special because they have no like star players anymore, but I think they'll finish 10th. 9th place, I have Everton. Now, I really hope last season for Everton wasn't something to go by, and isn't this Everton that we're going to see this season, because I really like Roberto Martinez, and that's coming from a Liverpool follower, so that's saying something. I think Everton have the players to do well. They need to keep John Stones. They rejected a £30 million bid for him, which means they mean business. They need to keep Lukaku in form and fit. I do think they'll do better than last year. They have 4 points from the opening 2 games with a draw at Watford and then a win at Southampton. They will do better than last year, but for me, other teams just look stronger. But 9th would be, I think most Everton fans would be happy with the 9th place finish, and then they could build up to what they once were. 9th and 8th respectively for this Premier League predictions, I have Swansea and Stoke. For Swansea, I mean, what a team these guys have turned out to be. They have gone from Championship upcomers to Premier League. I wouldn't go as far as saying big boys, but I mean, it's hard to go to Swansea, and because they just play. They know how to play football. They have a really good manager in ex-player Gary Monk, who hadn't been in management before, so that was a massive risk, but look how that's paid off. He could go back on to manage big teams. Future England manager, I've since suggested. I wouldn't be disappointed with that. I have a goal-scoring striker in Gomi since they've lost Bonnie. Yeah, he's done well. Anyway, and they have really good team spirit, and that can go a long way. The fans are behind them, and I think Swansea are going to have a really good season. 7th place I've put Stoke. Now, I was sort of debating for Stoke and Swansea, I mean, what order to have them in? Because I don't really know, but they could do really well or really poor, because Mark Hughes was never a manager I rated from seeing him at QPR and Manchester City since I've been following football properly. But he has done a lot of things at Stoke. And I mean, signings like Afellay, Shaqiri, as well as the players they have there, like Shawcross, Butland, Juve. Juice the goal scorer. I mean, Butland is what, 22? He went to the Euros of England in 2012. He's going to be a brilliant goalkeeper. Been very unlucky so far in their loss to Liverpool, but they look a really, really solid side. I remember when they were in the Championship. Now, moving on to the big stage, and 6th place, I have Tottenham. I don't really think there's much bias in this, I hope, being a Liverpool follower. I mean, I put Liverpool above Tottenham, but personally, I don't like Tottenham. Ever since Gareth Bale's left the club and they wasted the money, they've been very, very average. But now they've got Pochettino in charge. He's had a season. He's had a transfer window to do his own thing. We're going to see what he can do as a manager, because he did very well at Southampton. I think it's pretty fair to say they need a striker, because they have Harry Kane, who he's had one good season. Can they rely on him the whole season? Probably not. They did put a bid in for Berahino, and Pochettino said he wants 2 strikers. Yeah, for me, they're going to finish 6th, no higher, not challenging for Champions League places at all. Now, as a Liverpool fan, I'm going to try not to be biased, but I've put Liverpool down for 5th. Now, for me, they could get into the top 4, and they've made some good signings if they are used properly. For me, Firmino needs to be starting week in, week out, because Firmino, Lallana and Coutinho behind someone could be magic. Whether that's Benteke, Sturridge, Danny Ings, anyone like that. At the minute, it looks like it's going to be Benteke, but for me, I just hope that Liverpool don't end up going long ball all the time to Benteke, because to me, that is ugly football. I hope Daniel Sturridge still has a role to play when he comes back into the side, maybe playing up top with Benteke. I mean, that could be a good partnership, although Benteke is known for being a lone striker. But yeah, I think this Liverpool team has more goals in it, even though they've only won both games 1-0 so far. They need a better defensive record, which they've shown so far and not conceding. This is a hit or miss season for Brendan Rodgers. If Liverpool have a miss season, he has to go for me. I mean, I do like the guy, but So the top 4, you know the teams are, but 4th place, I have Manchester United. Literally, the only reason they're in the top 4 for me is because of the players they've bought. They've bought high quality players, Depay, Schneiderlin, Schweinsteiger. But for me, I don't like Van Gaal. He talks a lot of crap. They've not looked impressive. They might miss the top 4. Liverpool sneaking in, maybe Tottenham. For me, just purely because of the players, they will make the top 4 for me. Now the top 3, and for me, these could have gone in any order. I have put Arsenal to finish 3rd. Now I'm not going to lie, before the season started, they looked very, very strong to win the league. But what the hell has happened? I mean, I still have faith in Peter Cech. He's a very good goalkeeper. I think I speak for everyone in saying this. Why haven't they bought a striker? They need a goal scorer. I mean, everyone's talking Benzema, but he doesn't have really a reason to leave Real. He's playing frequently. Lacazette, but he signed a new contract at Lyon. I'm not sure who they could go for. I think it's Daniel Sturridge might be a good option, but having Giroud up front, they're not going to win the league straight up. 2nd place, now into the top 2, I have Chelsea. Now, you have to trust me when I say this. Even though they've had a poor start to the season, I had them to finish 2nd straight up. Jose Mourinho has a weird thing for him looking better than the team. But yeah, nevertheless, he is a good manager. Fabregas has to perform because he's sort of died down as his Chelsea career's gone on. Costa has to stay fixed. They don't have a striker to keep them in contention. Chelsea could falter this season, but Mourinho has a habit of winning big games. He says after they lose 3-0 to Manchester City. But Chelsea are going to have to win a lot of games to beat Manchester City this season for me. Because for me, although I'm not a big fan of Pellegrini, I fancy Man City to win the league this year. If Aguero stays fit for the whole season, he's going to smash it. And if Company finds form, they could challenge in Europe too for me, which I think they're due to. With the sign of Sterling and Otamendi imminent, they could challenge in Europe for me. Maybe not because of the experienced manager and the bad record, but definitely the Premier League for me, which means the title is going to go back to Manchester. So that's it for this video, guys. I'm not sure when the next episode will be out, when something massive happens, but it's just a little serious for me to talk about things. Maybe you guys listen, can give your opinions in the comments. But please like the video, please subscribe if you haven't already. Follow my social networks or in the links below. Until next time, do svidania.